I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, of course, beloved and holy friend. I'll be a second, like I was a little bit rushed to get the stream started today, but I still want to get myself some water and maybe something else. I hope I won't be too long. I'll share this scene with you, friends, for now. Yes, staring through the window of South Africa, at least for a moment. Be right back. There we go. Thank you for keeping the space open for me. You miss me? Hey Shan. Hey Joy Vive. I did. I did actually. I did, and I was like thinking about it while getting my water, Shan. I did. I did this morning. I added some to my coffee, and I also added some 8 drops to my water bottle. So I feel I might have sped ran. Sped ran is not a word, Mel. I might have sped ran the remedies, but I got all 16 drops into my body. They are inside of me right now. You're making it weird, Mel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Naomi, I think I really need to be here today, and here you are, present, Naomi, breathing the same atmosphere I'm breathing. Right, your planet, your world, illuminated by the same star that is setting behind me right now. There we go. Nice. Did I miss anybody? No, it's just you friends for now. To the friends not saying anything, I see you too, even if it's only me as you seeing myself. He's seeing me say this to you right now. Yes, you. Yes, you. Love, love. Hi, Mojo and Jovan is here too. Hey, even Doug Dad sending you love. Natalie sending you love and Stu friend. You look nice today, Melty. Thank you. Thank you. Look, we got like all colors schemed up. Black panties, black mashers, and also black scarf. Is what I like to say these days. Where I sarp is how we say scarf in Afrikaans, and then sometimes I get my wires crossed, and I want to say scarf, and I want to say sarp, and then I say scarf. There's no such word, but I've said it more times than I'd like to admit. It's nice having you friends here. We're gonna talk about letting go to gain something, right? My lesson, if you will, came from a less than positive exchange with my sister, where she was making dumplings yesterday, and I'm not eating right now, so that kind of that's not the problem area, but like I wanted to help. Like when I don't eat, this is where I'm coming from. When I don't eat, I for some reason take a great amount of pride in feeding others. So I decide to help her with her dumplings, and then I don't roll them the way that she wants me to, right? But in her tray, there's like 4 or 5 different rolling styles. So there's no like set list of this is how we roll the dumplings. It looked like it was like a team effort of get the dumplings rolled, right? So I decide to help, and then I do it wrong. I make them too thin apparently, and like instead of being given more chances, I got told that I'm irritated, so I do. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, fine, right? And then I find myself riding this wave of do I about it inside of myself, or do I let go of it, right? To allow myself peace. And last night I managed to, right, let go of it and allow myself that peace. And then I would remember the exchange again, and then it would take my peace from me. And then this morning I had like another moment of it taking my peace a little bit. And I realized, right, the thing that I'm not doing is letting go. I might be understanding what it is I'm trying to gain, right? I'm trying to gain peace, but I can only gain peace if I let go from this perspective of I have my hands full, right? With holding on to this thing that is painful. And as long as I have my hands full with it, as long as I don't let go of it, I won't have room in my hands to get the peace that I'm looking for. And even though it's nice to say it conceptually, it doesn't make it any easier. So, what do you friends want to let go of? Do let me know. Sofa, sofa, sofa. S-Rock is here too. So much love and see you, dear friend. Our beloved Naomi says, not bad about how she's feeling, I'm guessing, but currently feeling a little frustrated with some situations. I feel like I need to get out of the house, but at the same time, that feels like running away from the problem. I feel in a weird way, Naomi, you're having the opposite problem that I'm having, right? You're having the problem of feeling like you would probably want to let go of a situation, but the situation needs to be addressed. Letting go of it isn't going to help the situation, is what I'm feeling right now. Interesting perspective, right? Especially with what we're touching on today. Can you imagine there being more peace if you let go of certain things? Maybe write a list, right? These are the things I'm willing to let go of. These are the things I'm absolutely not willing to let go of. And maybe that could help create a little bit of more peace in your life, right? At least that's the way I'm thinking of it right now. Greetings all. Ezra, nice to have you. Duck Dad sending some strength in chat. As a trapped stay-at-home dad during the pandemic, trapped full of emotions and situations, getting out isn't running away. It's needed for a reset. Best day I had was going to the zoo alone. That sounds nice, actually. I do agree with what Duck Dad is saying, like conceptually, right? That you're not going to be abandoning anything by taking an hour to just go for a walk by yourself, right? That if you still come back, right? Like there's a difference between taking a break, or as you know, you beautifully said, a reset for yourself, and abandoning the problem and just closing your ears. Right? I believe in you, Naomi. Sometimes a little space can bring clarity. Exactly. Very true, Shan. I think that's what I needed. It feels so bad to process things where I am at right now. If there's anything we can do to help, Naomi, do let us know, friend. We're here for you. Connor is here too. Sofa again. Sir Melty of Schmeck Genius. Thank you, dude. Thank you for finding me so schmexy. Uh, it is a great point of insecurity, right? How we look these days. And I don't mind the way I look. I don't actually. Not as much anymore, at least. Right? For the longest time. What am I seeing right now? Oh my. That is horrifying. I saw what looked like a mouse moving. And then upon closer observation, I realized that it was bugs eating it to the point where it was moving. Ah, kitty! Ah! Leave it alone, kitty cat. That thing stinks, yo. At least I can't smell it, but I'm sure it does. Letting go. Oh, allowing myself peace. There's nothing I could have done to save that little creature. Oh, okay. Presence. Yeah. Insecurities, right? That's where we were going. Letting go of my own insecurities, I guess, is something that I need to let go of, right? That you are not valued, you are not measured by how you look, right? Unfortunately, I'm saying that from a metaphysical perspective and not from a realistic perspective because people very much measure you on how you look. Fucking assholes. And I'm one of them. I'm one of the assholes, right? And we do it almost like evolutionarily, like you're programmed to try and recognize a pattern, right? And certain patterns mean certain things to you. And letting go of those patterns are exceptionally difficult. But at least I'd like to believe not impossible, right? That it is possible for us to let go of our preconceived notions. The stories we've told ourselves for so long, we become convinced they're truths. I feel like I'm tripping out right now just thinking about the amount of things I need to let go of still, right? That there is like baggage, like so much stuff that I'm like looking at in my mind's eye of like what I need to let go of. Melting, right? Yeah. Layers upon layers upon layers. Let me see. Greetings from New Orleans, my friend. Officially moved. How do you find it, dude? We actually talked about New Orleans and yoga yesterday. The fact that New Orleans, and this is knowledge Sam imparted on me recently, that New Orleans was established by people who were tasked with taking a wife, wives being ladies of the night, like they were ladies of the night before they were wives, and then they established a colony in the New Orleans. The New Orleans became the colony they established, and they had some progressive mindsets. Right, New Orleans being what it is. But how did you find it, dude? I mean, it's like maybe a little bit early to tell, but do let us know. I have let go of the situation for too long. You see, trying to keep peace. I knew it. I knew in the context, at least the small little fractals of what you were sharing, I could already extract that you were having the opposite problem, right? That letting go was the thing taking the peace. Because every single time you let go of the thing taking your peace, it takes your peace that you're letting go of it, right? Right. Because you feel a sense of injustice. It's like, no, we've talked about this over and over again. I don't want to let go of it right now. Clearly, there's a problem. Clearly, something needs to change. Clearly, there should be some sort of recognition, responsibility, right? Maybe that's another important thing to kind of think about today is letting go. Like that's so today's stream topic kind of came as letting go allows you to gain peace. But letting go can allow you to gain other things, right? And maybe even let go of certain things so that you have more room to hold on to the things worth holding on to, right? At least that's the way I'm seeing this fractal right now. Yeah, I'm still on the letting go of something that takes your peace. Takes your peace because you're letting go of it. Right? Because that is very much something that we're struggling with as a collective humanity right now. Right? The amount of there's more, like, I don't know if this is known, but there's more inequality in the world right now than there's ever been. Right? Full stop. Kings and queens, right, weren't even as rich as the richest are right now. Not even remotely. Especially when we come to, technology, information, and access to the symbiosis of those two things. Yeah, right. And we have to let go of it. But it takes our peace. And then it takes our peace that we have to let go of it. And we get ourselves all fucking crazy. We lose our minds. We go back to monkey completely. And we're very much capable of it, right? Like, I heard this interesting perspective that humanism, was that what he called it? Evolutionary humanism isn't something that comes naturally to us, right? Being a evolved being, as some people say, being enlightened, doesn't come naturally to us. It's something that we have to almost teach ourselves and then re-remind ourselves of over and over again because of the benefits that it brings, right? It's like taking your medicine. It's like letting go of monkey and embracing your divinity. But it doesn't come naturally, right? Because your ego, at its base, doesn't benefit as much when it comes to physical existence from unity consciousness as it does from competition consciousness, right? And it's a matter of knowing, I guess, and then being reminded, because even if you know, you can let go of that knowledge, or at least you can let go of the actionable steps, let go of the effort that it sometimes takes. It's kind of absurd, huh? You can learn such amazing things about how to live a good life, about things to do, about techniques, practices, and then you can completely forget about them, let go of them. And I feel, there's potentially some wisdom there. Maybe we have to let go of some things, even if they're good for us, right? So that we can have the bad things, which we don't want to let go of, right? How about that? As a paradox. Silly human beings. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Da, 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 da. What's the situation, Naomi? Have you ever had a bad flower remedy? There we go. My fiance's drinking is the problem. I'm sick of dreading every weekend. Dump him. No, I have not, Shan, but I could look into it, I'm sure. The bad remedies. I mean, I don't know if it will help him, but it might help you, right? If someone is poisoning their own body and you're seeing it ruin their lives, like, I don't know how you're supposed to cope with that, Naomi. Like, I don't have the wisdom. I can only imagine how difficult it must be. But I believe in your capacity, right, to see this through. I believe in him to change his behavior because none of us are really fixed, right? Growth mindset versus fixed mindset. You can either believe this is who I am, the ego narrative, right? This is who I am, always, forever. Never gonna be anything else. Or you can realize that what you think of as an ego is ceaselessly melting, right? Recasting itself every single day. And the more times you do it, the more convinced you become that you are that version of yourself, right? And that means the ego is doing its job. It's like being like, yeah, I am convinced I am separate. Look at me being a person. I'm so convinced it's doing its job. Right? Oh goodness. But if you become so convinced of the person you are that you're unwilling to see if you could be someone else, right? Someone who doesn't drink every weekend, for example. And I'm not trying to throw any shade. I'm just talking about differences, right? There's a version of you, for example, all of us, that drinks every weekend. And then there's a version of us that doesn't do that, right? And not casting any judgment, but we get to choose which version of us we want to be. And depending on the choices we make, it influences our lives. And that's the paradox of the infinity as well, is that all of us get to live a divinely unique life, right? That you cannot make a mistake technically. You can choose a path and you'll get to have a divine experience, like experiencing that path. You'll be a part of the infinity, but you're not doomed, right? You're not bound to one path forever. In fact, you have an infinite amount of paths open in front of you right now in this moment, and you get to choose. You get to let go of the old path. You get to let go of, fear thinking and step into a path of love. Something that is just going to make you feel like love is true, right? On a fundamental level, that the way you interact with the people around you, the way you feel about your day to day life, the way you feel about your body, there's a deep sense and resolute understanding that, oh shit, here's love, right? Because you're showing up for it. But we have to let go of our fear, our separation, and it's hard. Oh goodness, it's hard. So I just keep telling myself stories about being the other thing, being a mug, being an apple, being another person, being an animal, being a tree, being a bird. The only way to truly know something is to be it, right? To remember your existence as it. To not see it from your existence, but to see it from its existence. My mind is going to simulacrums and thoughts, right? Stuff that we potentially create in a higher dimensional realm, or maybe it already is, right? A chair, for example. Mm, You know what a chair is, and yet there's so many different versions of it. And yet all of them, on some sort of fundamental level, is chair. So if you had all chairs of infinite potential, right? And you map them all over each other. From all of those images, some sort of idea, some sort of fundamental understanding is going to arise, right? What a chair is. And it doesn't exist in this realm. Right? The perfect chair cannot exist in this realm. And yet, you can conceptualize, at least in theory, what I'm talking about. And that's the way I'm talking about your life as well, right? That's the joke. Is that no matter how much of the bad stuff you let go, how much of the good stuff you gain, we can't have a perfect life. We should just have one that we feel we have control over. And I think maybe that's the thing that you're stuck with as well, Naomi, is the fact that you feel you don't have the control to change the situation, or he doesn't have the control to stop, and that's what makes it painful. Not the actual thing, but the inability to be in control of that situation. Wanting for it to be differently and then suffering, right? Misperceiving the situation and then suffering. It's it's absurd, and it it takes you on a ride. Unfortunately, balancing emotions is important. This is true. It's the not so bad that I don't want to be home. It's that I'm scared of confrontation, and I don't know how to start the conversation when he wakes up. I need to gather my thoughts. Remind yourself to breathe deeply and notice how you feel, and then be active in communicating it instead of just reactive as to what is happening right in front of you, because there is gonna obviously be confrontation if you have to bring something up like that, because we want to be right even if we know the things that we're doing is wrong, especially if we know the things we're doing is wrong, because then someone else noticing it as well compounds, makes us feel even more small. That's where you see the insecurities really come out. Oh, Sofa, boyfriends are way easier to leave than someone you're married to. Fun fact. It's true, but living with someone, it changes things. Even though you're not married to them, you might as well be, right? So many things. I feel like the situation is more complicated. It always is. It always is. We're just here as emotional support, at least. I think I missed a few. Honesty is the biggest part, not Naomi. Thank you, Connor, for sharing that as well. Maybe start with writing your thoughts down like you just start a fuss. I think that's a great idea as well, Natalie. Writing down all of the things that you feel. And like I shared at the start, right? Make a list. Make a list of the things you're willing to let go of and the things that you aren't, right? And be clear with that, like not setting an ultimatum, but from a balanced, grown up perspective, communicate your concern for both of yours future, right? That there is an infinite amount of potential futures, and the one where he drinks excessively every weekend isn't one where either of you are going to be happier later down the line, right? Like big picture, like we are in a day-to-day experience. This is true, and sometimes this day-to-day experience can be painful. Use substances, we exercise, we pursue wealth, we pursue validation, people's time. Like there's so many layers, right? Stuff that we're holding on to. I wish I knew what to say. You are loved, Naomi, and you are worthy of love, right? And I believe that we all deserve a loving future. And we should be clear with our loved ones, especially when we see them doing things less loving themselves towards the future we share. Because if you're in a relationship with someone, it's our future. What happens to you is now both of our problem, right? If you live a extremely unhealthy lifestyle, and now for the last 20 years of our life together, I'm holding your hand in a hospital, my future as well, right? And yes, when you make that commitment, that is what you sign up for. But you love a person, right? And I believe, and I've shared this with you friends, that that love needs to be there for yourself first. That is a bandwidth thing, right? Like the most direct bandwidth or access you have to love is the love you can give yourself. Because for me to love you, for example, right? Let's take Naomi. Naomi, I love you. So four words, four sounds that I made in a sequence. Naomi, I love you, right? And then Naomi can receive that love that I'm willing to give in this moment. But Naomi can tell herself, I love you myself, I love you myself 1,000 times in an hour, right? Over and over and over and over and over and over again. You can just put arms around yourself. You can put a hand on your own heart and be like, I'm here for you. You can breathe calmly. You can take a hot shower. You can, treat yourself to a walk outside. You can give your animals some pets. You can give a plant some water, right? Like there are ways to love yourself that is higher bandwidth, more throughput of love received than any other person could ever give you. And if you're not willing to love yourself and you expect another person to facilitate slash make up the lack of bandwidth you feel, your lack of connection, right? Then there's always going to be one person feeling drained, right? Because then it becomes an expectation. It becomes something that is necessary to sustain, right? Because we need love like a vital source, right? Like we need it. Like it's of vital importance. But we forget that we are first and foremost responsible for the love we have for ourselves. Nobody can love you for you, right? Like we can love you for us, right? And that us is the same thing, I know. But again, right, that us is in you, the royal we, right? The thing that you are, the we that is the experiencer having this experience. You are powerful. And I believe that by acknowledging and taking responsibility for that power that you have, you will live a good life. A wonderful future, in fact. Mindfully so. Man, us women are conditioned to put up with anything to say we have something. Who cares about his health? What about yours? How is it serving you to have a drunk boyfriend? Look out for number one. Again, I believe it is her problem as well, right? Because they're gonna live a life. If they're gonna choose one another, they're gonna live a life together. And if he's not taking care of his health, then it's gonna be her problem as well. So yeah, like I agree completely with what you're saying, JV. Right? Like, how is it serving you to have a drunk boyfriend, someone who cannot be present, right? Maybe like that is the biggest problem. And that's the thing about like I would highly recommend. He probably wouldn't do this, but for your boyfriend to read The Way of the Superior Man by David Data, where it goes into detail exploring from the author's perspective the divine masculine and divine feminine dynamic and how those energies are expressed and how understanding the expression of these energies can allow us more depth in our relationship with one another. And one of the craziest understandings shared in that whole thing for me that I keep coming back to is beautiful there. Thank you, friend. And thank you for inviting some of your friends as well, Plasty. Sorry for missing you till now. One of the most beautiful sayings he had is that the divine feminine, right? And it can be any orientation of a couple, but the person that most identifies with their feminine will do anything in its power to get the attention of the person that identifies as masculine, right? Because the attention, the presence, the one on one looking into each other's eyes and the rest of the world melting away, that is what is most important, right? So even if that attention can only be gotten by pain, right? By destruction. The example he makes in the book is a divine feminine entity will destroy the divine masculine's like CD set. It's an old book, record set, like an old book, like throw them on the ground just to get him outraged because that outrage, that absolute visceral anger and disapproval is still presence, right? It's not what one like it feels horrible, but at least it's something. At least it's some level of presence. And when I read that, it completely changed my perspective on life as well. Where instead of and this has been a work in progress, as you friends probably know better than anyone. Like every single time a challenge arises, I see it as that call to awareness, right? Like, oh, you're suffering. How about you pay more attention to me, right? And then I feel that me is the everything, you friends, our technology, our animals, that you can be completely present and still be letting go of most of it, right? Almost like a dissociation is the word that I use for it sometimes. A disconnect, like a limbo state. And in a weird way, it can be preferable to some as well, even to me, potentially in moderation, but I feel it can get out of hand. I'm watching myself as in my past being like, how present should you be, dude? Have you written out your thoughts? Thank you for the suggestion as well. I also spoke a few months ago to my teacher, who used to be an addiction counselor. I wrote a letter, planned to leave it for him, and then those plans didn't work. I have been scared to do it again. Like, the thing that bothers me the most is the fact that you have to feel this way at all, Naomi, right? Like, I hate the fact that you're going through this experience right now. But even more than that, I hate the fact that you have to feel like you can't do something about it, right? That you're not in a position to say something. And that really bothers me, because you should have that autonomy, right? That freedom to actually express yourself. And I understand it's you do, right? But you also realize that your power will have impact, right? And impact is scary to pretty much anyone. Yeah, right? Like an impact with cars, for example, is life threatening. An impact of wills, of consciousnesses can be life changing, right? Very much so. Life threatening to others, right? Speaking through the lines. You friends know what I'm talking about. We live in a crazy world, and the lack of awareness, the belief in separation, I feel really gives us like an interesting point to start arguing with, which leads to misperceptions. Oh goodness, oh, so many misperceptions. It's hard to leave someone. It's hard to leave sometimes. It takes multiple tries. Don't stop trying, Naomi. Just think, is this what you want to put up with every day for the rest of your life? Exactly. Exactly. Boyfriends are way easier to leave than someone you're married to. Fun fact. Also true. I feel like the situation is more complicated. It always is. We have Julia. I think I found your Instagram today, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Thank you for creating, dear friend, for making your art. I see Grace Hand is here too. It's nice having you here, friend. Sending you love. Let me see. Do indeed. Gateway, love is being sent. I don't feel it always as cut and dry as dumping him. It's not what I want, but I feel I should try a conversation first. I still care about him as a person. I love and have built a life with. Exactly. Right? That's what I'm feeling. Like I can see it as you wanting the best for him, right? Knowing that that lifestyle isn't serving him. It's costing him literally, financially, you as a part of the household as well, and it's also costing him in his current health, his current ability to be active and make a real difference in his own life, in your life, and it's harming him in his future, where it's going to have some sort of negative health effect on his body, and then he's going to have to pay the price, medically for that as well. So I can see, Naomi, that you're coming from a place of love. Gateway, thanks for joining me the other day on stream. Good to see your name. Thank you, Doug Dad, for echoing that love. Connor, it's not that complicated. We make things more complicated than they are because of fear. Good luck, Naomi. Just remember who you are and what you deserve. I very much feel your perspective as well, Joy V. That strength, right? That willingness to lean into our own. Love is tricky. And love is so tricky. Good old oxytocin really has hooks in it. Wow, this is the second time I have said boundaries are healthy this morning. I'm happy that you're finding your lesson in the universe echoed as well. Natalie, it really is. This is why I stay single. Yeah, so far, so far. I'm also single for the same reason. Yes. Yes. I'm so, look at me, superioring her. Being single is so much superior. Me hugging my pillow at night. I actually don't mind sleeping alone. To be completely honest, I sleep pretty horribly if there's another person, right? And this is now backed by data, backed by actual data. And I've been asking couples as well. I'm like, how are you sleeping? And then people first think I'm like making some sort of weird sexual observation, and I'm like, nope. I'm just like really curious. How do you sleep? How many times do you wake up in the middle of the night? You know, having like some sort of sore arm, having to switch over, blanket problems, right? There's like a you're in trouble, right? Oh yeah. So like that's mine. You know, yeah. I'm single because I like sleeping in my own bed. And then you see families that have like a bed for the woman and for the man, and then for some reason that feels like it's wrong, right? Like, don't you love each other? Why don't you sleep in the same bed together? I have so much peace being single. Same, right? Like there's a whole fractal that I don't have to consider, right? But sometimes considering that fractal can be beneficial and induce a certain level of growth. Because if someone spends all day, every day with you, or chooses to spend their life with you, the things you can tolerate might not be the same things they can tolerate. And there should be some sort of compromise made, right? I feel unfortunately relationships comes with compromise. And being able to compromise can be a valuable skill. But at this point of my life, I ain't making no compromises. No compromises. Because my goals are very uncompromisable, right? And they're easy. Step one, show up every day. Step two, step three, save the world. Like I'm kind of confused about what comes next, right? I don't know what to do, but I feel because we're doing it together, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. We're saving the world, friends. Wow. This title aligns with this conversation, right? Yeah, of course it does, Natalie. How could it not? I dumped my ex a few years ago and then started dating. Nightmare. Quit dating. I'm celibate. Peace restored. Yes. Yes. It's almost like, you know, we can give ourselves all of the love we need. Balance though, right? I feel the biggest and the best advice that I've been able to give myself when it comes to relationships or seeking a partner is that all I need to do is live my life the right way, right? At least what's right to my belief that love should be true, right? And if I continue living that way, inevitably I'm going to have opportunities to meet people that also have made the right decisions to meet me into that moment, right? And if I live my life right, then I'll get to meet the person I'm supposed to spend my life with, right? Like that's how easy it is for me. And I'm not willing to compromise that either. And I'm very at peace. Oh goodness. I really noticed how at peace I am during this weekend as well, you know, spending time at my family's place. Like I don't care anymore. It felt I felt like I gained some sort of superpower where I realized that I don't have to do what people tell me to. Oh, and they'll try. Oh, they'll try to tell you what to do. Oh goodness, they love it. Oh, they love it. I love it even, right? But I do try to tell you, friends, what to do when it comes to things that will actually benefit your life, right? I can. This is one of the most beautiful quotes. I think it was said by Alex Mosley. I keep forgetting his name. Like some of your friends might know who it is, but he has this quote that goes, "Don't LOB, don't let people that have smaller dreams for your life tell you what to do." Right? This bee is being like, I see you got flowers there, but I don't smell any pollen. I'm sorry, little friend. Maybe one day I'll have like actual live flowers growing out of my shirts, and then that bee can drink some pollens and go and make some honey. There's something wrong with my brain. It was like imagining that this pollen is like mildly laced with LSD or something, and then it takes it back to the hive, and then he makes some like psychedelic honey, and then winter comes around, and they just have the time of their lives. They see like bee god and stuff. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome to the internet. Take a look around, and your mind is like exponentially more insane. Like create the vector that's going to attach to that shiznit. Mm, yeah, generative content, friends. That people are going to have access to an content model that is going to be directly attached to you and your immediate response in that moment, right? If you respond with a certain level, and it's again criticality, right? Like a certain level of excitement, certain level of anxiety, certain level of anticipation, and then it can just keep you in that loop, right? By catering the story in real time to what it is exactly what you want to see. I can imagine us getting pretty lost in a world like that, right? For days, weeks, months, years at a time. So we're gonna have to be willing to at least temporarily let go of that space, come back to the body, come back to our balance, actually move, actually eat well, actually take care of ourselves hygienically, actually connect with human beings, right? And it's so simple, and yet it's gonna, be something that we have to be reminded of. It already is. Everyone deserves love. Exactly, Joe. It's nice seeing your name, friend. And he says as well, and we all need forgiveness for our shortcomings. We are flawed species that is capable of greatness and plagued with egos that tell us we must compete. We will get there, but it's going to take some time. It always has. Baby steps towards enlightenment. It always has. It always will. At least now, at least what I'm seeing in you friends, there are people that are willing to walk the long road, right, towards that enlightenment. Not just kind of like throwing their hands and going like, "Rah, rah." Naomi, I hear you. It's hard to talk. It's hard to talk about these big hairy issues in a relationship, but necessary sometimes. Maybe do it from a place of caring. I feel absolutely right. That caring for the collective future that we're both going to experience and asking the real hard questions of how do we want to experience? Is that a who needs tears? Who needs them? Who even needs them? Seeing you, sending you love, friend. Thank you for joining us. Hello, fabulous Melty. What did I just do? I upped the fabulousness. Went like all the way fabulous. So much fabulous. Joe, I have found watching a baby take baby steps into life has unlocked my ability to see those baby steps that I never took. Baby steps for all. How about that? right? The fact that you actually haven't seen baby steps as your own baby steps because your soft, mushy brain hasn't formed the ability to create concrete memories just yet. But then you can watch your child take its actual baby steps and you can see yourself, right, existing again through that being. Man, I can't even imagine what's gonna happen to me if I become a parent. Can you, friends? If I'm a dad someday, am I gonna lose my mind completely? You know something that makes me happy? I can do this from home. I'm gonna so be a stay-at-home dad. My kids will be sick of me by the time they get to leave the house. They'll be like, "My dad spent so much time with me. He was just home always." What do you mean? He just doesn't want to leave. Like, what do you mean? Like he was just all up in our faces, telling us he loves us always. That it's like exhausting. He's like, wait a second. Are you complaining about your dad loving you too much? Yeah, dude. Like you don't know my dad though. He's like fucking obnoxiously loving. He's kissing my son's forehead. I love you, you're my son. He's like, Dad, please, oh, oh, please have mercy, have mercy on myself. No, no mercy for you. Joe, I have found watching. Thank you again for like connecting me to that duck dad. That was the basic purpose of the letter last time. I wish the plan had worked. I am bad at speaking my thoughts in the moment. Writing them out works much better for me. Just scared to write it again. What are you scared of? What are you scared of? Like exactly. I mean, right? Like, and you can extend it to the worst case scenario. Are you gonna die? Right? No. Okay. Is the world gonna explode? No. Is the town gonna explode? No. Is the house gonna explode? Maybe a little bit, right? At least in volume. And then what? Right? Break down the steps. Kind of like play it out in your head. Is it really something to fear comparatively to the things that used to be dangerous to us? And technically, in your mind, conflict with a social companion does register in the exact same spots in your brain where actual physical combat and physical pain register as well. So I understand. I understand, right? Like there's so many layers to this. I have to go now. I wish you all a piece of enlightenment that you deserve. Thank you, Natalie. Sending you love. I'm also going on 2 hours of sleep, 2 days in a row, so don't trust a dumb word I say. That's how I would be talking right now if I was only on like 4 hours of sleep over the last 2 days. How are you talking right now at all? Inch by inch, if we must. But I think, I like to think, we will learn how to run eventually. Oh, yes. We'll be sprinting, dude, before we know it even. Natalie, have a good day. Love is true. I'm streaming 1 p.m. Central if you were in need of company. Hey, Google, what is 1 p.m. Central Time in South Africa? That is 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. It is 5 right now. So in 3 hours. Hey, Google, set an alarm for 3 hours from now. Sicketh. Now I got a reminder. See if I can tune in as well, brother bear. Would be nice. Seeing you mildly delirious, maybe. You can be like, yeah, yeah, do the thing, do the roar. Scared to leave, scared to write a letter. I'm stuck on the real nightmare of this becoming the rest of your life because of the fear of change. And I'm feeling that as well. Exactly, Joy Vive. It's like, I don't want her to live in a state like that where she's, unable to talk, right? Like that feels, I feel like not being able to, go outside because there's like mountain lions that are super hungry and you might get eaten alive. That sounds like a certain level of fear that I wouldn't want to tolerate, but I'd be okay with it, right? I'll probably like get myself a sick ass spear, you know. I'm divulging, but not being able to speak words, being scared of that, mm-mm. And that that doesn't sit right with me either. I want to manifest calm and peace for brother Corey and his family right now. I hope you're finding rest. Is this something that you know that I don't? Thank you, Duck Dad, for manifesting that peace. Sending you so much love, man. Sending them as well, face to face of intention. Yeah, I agree. Today's topic is let go to gain something. Maybe this is just what you need. Trippy, right? Trippy. Like you are, maybe, right? Maybe if anything, do it as a difference, right? Maybe like tell him how you feel. Go over to your mom's place or something. Stay there for 2 weeks, being away from it, and then come back to it. Seeing what you gained, letting go of one space might be one way. Own your stuff and let them see their own. Exactly, Joe Schmo. It's kind of funny that a lot of the things that you're saying, Mel, are the things that I wrote in my letter a few months ago. I still sit in my, it still sits in my book bag, but it needs to be rewritten now. Maybe give him both. Maybe give him both. And I don't know if you had the other one timestamped. Timestamp it afterwards. Show him that this is something you've been considering for months now, right? Like this is not just something that you're saying nilly willy. Oh, I kind of came up that I felt this way for a moment. Like, no, this has been a problem for a long time, and I don't want to have this problem anymore. So stop doing that. Stop it. Stop doing that. Or stop. Release yourself from the chains that contain you. Possess the keys to the prison. Yeah. Married for 10 plus years and have been through many fights with my spouse. The key is being on your partner's side. Yes, it's always the you two versus the problem. Beautifully said. Thank you, Sam. So beautifully said. I want it to be us as the problem at this stage, at least. That's the way it should be. Maybe we need to stop calling him a drunk boyfriend. I feel that will also help. Was he like this when they met? If so, drunk boyfriend. Was he drinking increased during the relationship? Seems like something in life hit him. 200 characters is less. It's hard. Naomi, please know my DMs are open if you need to talk. Please do, friends, right? Like, I feel this is something that is important for me to stress, and it feels like I'm bad for doing it sometimes. But the best way to have someone reach out to you is to reach out to them, right? And that I know. When you feel bad, reaching out to people is the last thing you want to do, right? Because it can be embarrassing. You have to be vulnerable. You have to admit that you don't have everything figured out. Nobody does. Nobody has everything figured out. It helps to talk, helps to feel like there's someone that's willing to listen. And you can't find someone who's willing to listen unless you try and find someone who's willing to listen. Right? Reach out, touch someone's shoulder, and then being like, oh, hey. And then they can turn to you and then have a conversation. But you have to reach out. Otherwise, we're all flying towards infinity forever, right? The problem is that his behavior is having a negative impact in your life, and you need your partner to change what he's doing. Now is not an ultimatum, but he does need to decide to choose you. Yeah, both teammates must want the same result. Exactly. A happy life together, right? That is the result. That is what we all want. We all want a happy life together, right? Pretty simple. Now, we as a collective have to work on the problems that interrupt that flow, the thing that stops us from going there. I'm not saying Naomi has to stay, but in my life experience, I don't turn my back on loved ones in pain without trying to bring them back to living first. Exactly. Beautifully said, Doc Dad. Gotta give them the chance to change. Exactly. This drinking habit has always ebbed and flowed. His father was an alcoholic in his younger years, but is sober now. So not sure where I stand on calling him a drunk boyfriend. Go ahead. I feel it is a label like any other label. Like even if we had his name, even if we knew what his job title was, even if we, knew his entire life, no matter what title we would give him, would still be an approximation of the infinite being that he is. Right? He's still probably one. I mean, let's just go for this fractal, he still has hopes and dreams. He still has a living experience, right? He still, in the same way that you do, looks down and see his hands. He still brushes his teeth. He still takes showers, enjoys the warm water on his skin. He still enjoys eating food like me and you do as well, right? And unfortunately, this fractal was opened up with a piece of information that allows us to point a finger and be like, yes, this definition. We cannot at all know ourselves even, right? Never mind him. But this is his current fractal. And the only way for him to not be that fractal is to not be it, right? Unfortunately. It's not the only thing that defines him. But if it's something he's being hurt by, and like I feel he has at least some kind of vector to see that it is possible to stop, right? Like if his dad had that problem as well, and out of his own volition realized from a, from a place of wisdom, he is wise to stop. So that is something that his son can do as well. Maybe even asking him, why he thinks his dad stopped drinking. Like my mind is getting melted by this problem. There's a lot of absolutism in this chat at the moment. This is a space of nuance, and nuance starts with asking questions. I agree. I hope that I haven't been absolutist in my answers. Maybe like you have said in chat. Like I feel all of us have a perspective, right? And polarization is nuance in a weird way, right? Because all of us are polarized in our own ways and have our own opinions, our own perspectives. And then from the sharing of our own opinions and our own perspectives, the nuance arises, right, within the self. So I agree with what you're saying, but I also believe that it is still, you know, nuanced at least. Doug, we like a good fight though. I have noticed that people don't have the kind of resistance to outside forces that throw them off balance. Nope. We're not trained to have that resistance anymore. I have experience of addicts. I've had experience of abusive relationships. Addicts choose their poison most of the time. You can waste years begging, being understanding, and waiting for them when what we need is change. I completely feel where you're coming from, Joy Vive. I really do. And in large part, I agree with you. I've never been in that situation though. Right. So I feel I am not equipped to know what to say or what advice to give. I know I know it's hard, and I appreciate your willingness to share, especially what's helped for you, right? Because we can do the same fractal experiment with Joy Vive. Maybe we started streaming 4 years ago instead of 2 years ago, and Joy Vive joined us as well, and she might have still been in this relationship and came to us with the exact same problem that we're being posed with right now, and she did decide to let go. And now we get to hear her quality of life right now, right? And her fractal is better for having made what was at the moment, during that time, probably hard. But all of that kind of like hinges on the direct fractal that is Joy V and her experience and the person that she was with and the severity of the situation, etc., 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 etc. And because of that, it is very hard for us to know the full nuance, of any situation. So we can only share from our perspective, and we acknowledge and value each other's perspective, but we also are willing to understand that each of us are our own infinity, and we're gonna be the ones that experience the consequences of our decisions. So ultimately, it should be coming from a loving awareness, right? Our decision should be love, ultimately, because only then can we experience our loving experience, knowing we have chosen to experience love, right? At least that's the way I've been trying to see it, and it's hard. It really is. It still trips me out. To aviv the world isn't only through your experience, stuck that sharing the same perspective, not discounting it, but for those that is just a lot of words of saying, I'm hurt from bad experiences. Everything can't be black and white. I agree, Dr. as well. Don't forget to up dude melt more. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate the love. I'm not hurt from past experiences. I've done a lot of work on healing. Have you been in therapy? What's your experience with addiction? There's no nuance over text. You're reading my words as intense. I hear you. I do. Fortunately, I feel like I'm perfectly in sync, sharing all of our perspective. It feels like I'm holding together infinity that is like bubbling. It's like it wants to explode. And I'm thinking like, oh, your barons. There's so much embarrassing. Maybe I have an anecdote, but I feel that I can't say I've had an alcoholic past. It was so bad that it was going to work in the morning drunk at one point. People can change. Self love can be a big motivator. There we go. Beautifully said, JV. Jovan, thank you so much. I agree. I really agree. Like, I'm sorry to hear that you had to go through that. And I feel like it wasn't something that you were probably doing because you were enjoying at that point as well, right? And then you gained a level of self love where you were like, yeah, this is just not something that a version of me that loves me would do to myself, right? I'm proud of you. Stop, Jovan. Mm, just like that, the answer is yes to both of your questions. Is that Johan's? Jovan, I love that fractal as well. I know that fractal as well. I'm very happy to know that you are beyond that chapter in your world. You deserve the life that you have earned. Love is true. On the bed subject, my parents eventually learned they were just much happier with separate beds. Same room, separated by one small bedside table, but separate beds kept them happiest. Yeah, right. I feel that maybe that is gonna be what I do as well one day, potentially, right? Maybe like a very big bed, so we can sleep on our own sides of the bed. But I've noticed that my sleep quality, like, and this is now years ago, right, really drops if there's someone else in the bed with me. Because one, I want to be mindful of the person and be close to them, as a sign of affection and care and love. But two, doing that causes me to not sleep well, right? And then I don't get to sleep well, and then I am less than recharged for another day the next day, and then it makes me less capable of being loving, and then it might push me to try and be more loving and cuddly, and it perpetuates a cycle. Real and pure love in general is the ultimate motivator, to me at least. Again, another anecdote, of course. Thank you for sharing it. So much love to triumph the ones, to the triumphant ones, and so much strength to the traumatized ones. Don't make assumptions about me. You don't know me. None of us can know each other, Joy Vive. We're just sharing our perspective, right? We're seeing reflections of ourselves ultimately as well. You shouldn't take things personally, right? Be willing to let go. The stream title keeps on giving. Yummy. Thank you for all of the lessons. Universe. Mm. Jovan, all the changes I made to step away from my old life, I only made after I decided that I was worth it enough to try. Beautifully said. Javiv, your words are my judgment criteria. You use very absolute words when talking about relationships. Dump, leave them. I love you, Javiv. So has hard battle lines about it. That's all. She has hard battle lines about it. Yeah, Javiv, it's the spiciness in your approach to relationship with. It's not going to, I'm not going to lie, it's very triggering. In one breath, you all tell me I'm an amazing dad, but I applied much of your advice today. I would have been left alone and probably worse years ago, as would my wife. You see, and this is what I'm thinking as well, Brother Bear. Again, right? Like your personal perspective. Because in your personal perspective, I completely agree. It would be the worst advice you could have been given, right? Oh, you're having a hard time with your wife during this, time of your life. Situation is grim. You don't feel seen. There is, a lack of control. Leave them, right? And then you do that, and then years later, touching on that fractal again, your life, and you wouldn't have the perspective, right? That's the other joke. Is in your mind, you probably would be convinced that your life is better, but from your current perspective, having actually done the work of trying to address the problem as a team, right? Instead of, as your words are, like absolutist mindset of like, yeah, this problem is the way it is, skadoosh, cut it off. Your perspective is worthy, both of yours, right? I feel growth and love is something that we want for every single person. And I feel that is where I'm seeing Joy Vive come from, at least, right? That she isn't trying to be absolute about ending the relationship because that's what she thinks is the best thing to do. But I feel she's being absolute about it being a potential win for the person suffering, right? Going through these problems. Again, from a place of love, right? So love is still true for all of these exchanges that I'm seeing right now. It's just the perspective that is different. The infinity, right? I would have been left alone. Yep. Shaka, she's scared. Yeah, that is the other thing that I'm also like agreeing with is hearing the fear, right? Just to like even write a letter to a person. That doesn't feel healthy, right? And hearing a friend that is unhealthy, right? If we see someone eating butter with a spoon day in, day out, right? We would fear for their health, be like, maybe you shouldn't do that, right? I do that sometimes. Like obviously butter, spoonfuls of butter is not the best example. They could be eating spoonfuls of cocaine, okay? We would still be scared for their health and be like, yeah, maybe don't eat spoonfuls of cocaine anymore, right? And then another person might have, eaten a spoonful of cocaine and had the best time of their life, met their wife, you know, actually had the confidence to talk to them. So from their perspective, eating a spoonful of cocaine was the best thing they ever did, right? And you telling this person not to eat spoonfuls of cocaine, could, rob them of that potential experience. We don't know. None of us know. None of us know the infinite nuances of every single other person's life. Choose love, right? Make sure that whatever you choose, make sure it's love. And I can see Naomi trying to do that. I can see Joviv trying to choose the love of self, right? We were talking about the bandwidth thing. That if you don't feel loved by this other person, not even loved enough for them to let go of a molecule that is actually poison, right? Then it causes a sense of fear, right? A distrust, a lack of safety within your own being, right? Not even talking to a person, but sitting with yourself, making scribbles on a paper causes anxiety. Yeah, this is too much for me too. Love is true, right? That fear probably arises from the deep love that Naomi has for this person, not wanting it to be something that's interrupted or something that is put at jeopardy, right? Because love is true. I'm not scared to be in my own home. I hear you again, Naomi. Happy to hear that. It's a beautiful day today, friends. Remember to breathe in the strength and exhale with grace. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you for the reminder. I just feel I would think and process my thoughts and words better elsewhere. Where I am home, all I can focus on is the household chores to be done instead of sitting with my thoughts. Consider the other thing I shared, right? Just going to your mom's place for like a week or two. Get away from the chores, get him to take care of it, you know. Let him see what life is like without you. And then, Maybe you have a time like to write your letter, come back, let him read the letter, and then that could like be the starting point of a conversation. Give them both. Tell him that the previous one came from months ago. Exactly. I didn't see anywhere Naomi said that she was scared. She said that she was frustrated and overwhelmed. She did say that she was scared to write the letter. That is something that she said, I'm pretty sure. Words deserving of nuance. Uh, Pasta. I like pasta. Me too. I also like pasta. And the chores are starting to pile up and hike up your anxiety. I would suggest picking one small one to do before taking yourself on that walk, Naomi. I think that's good advice. I remember when you proposed to you, Naomi. I know there's a lot of love there. There's a lot of us haven't seen, and it goes a lot deeper than the little bit of nuance the little bit we shared here. Exactly. Oh yeah, what's for breakfast? Actually, I did just finish dishes, so I can come home to a clean kitchen. Nice. That's nice of you. You've been doing it for yourself. May the perspective shared here shine light on how you feel about it all. The truth is within you. Exactly. All of these are just mirrors for you to see the truth that is reflected in you, right? The way that these things make you feel, these conversations make you feel. And this is what I'm seeing, right? From Brother Duck Dad's perspective, being in a loving relationship, having a child, right? Having done the work of sticking through with the relationship and making it a stronger bond. From that mirror, that is the way, that is the truth, right? That is the love. But from a person who was hurt by the relationship and moving away from that relationship benefited them, allowed them love in their lives, from their perspective, that is love. And every single perspective that is shared still creates the cross point, the synchronicity, the fractal, the infinity that is you, right? The core, the truth is in your heart, and you're just giving more and more perspective to actually see it within yourself. I love how coming home to a clean kitchen too. Yeah, same. Love you again to you. Who needs tears? I feel like I'm really far behind. I found such peace in having my own place that is much less cluttered and chaotic than living with my parents. Oh yeah, I will probably be signing off soon. Sending you love, Naomi. Thank you for joining us too, friend. I'm gonna skip a little bit more present. There we go. Mm-hmm. If you fart, then both parties can warms my heart. I am 6 foot tall and 90 kilos. I feel like a little spoon, and that actually feels weird if someone covers me. Yeah, so like brother Joe is isn't supposed to be a little spoon. It feels like what's up that? Short part. The greatest of things are happening, and I'm so excited. Friendship hasn't ended; it's evolving. Oh, there we go. I'm happy to hear that, Try Historian. I'm happy to see you kind of like giving me these small little snippets, getting closer and closer to seeing this full fractal. Today's stream is about letting go, right? And weirdly enough, Dry Historian was one of those friends who was unwilling to let go of a friendship. And now she's mentioning that it's evolving. Things are changing and still growing. My thoughts exactly. Love, Louisiana. Hey, it's nice having you here. Get the muffin. I want to stay and chat, but I also want to start my plans to make lunch. You can do both. You can, listen in while you make some lunch. Lunch or stream? Hard questions. I mean, right? Like, I'm pretty hungry myself right now, so I don't know what I would choose. Is Susanna here too? She is sending you love. Naomi, so much love. Sister, stay in your power today. You need to focus on being centered and serene. Your words will come to you. Thank you, Joshmo, for like echoing that as well. Maybe we'll pull a card, right? Then I'll be the one to end the stream, so you can go and make yourself some lunch. Let's see if the card helps with today's very pressing topic. Letting go. Yasi, what a hard stream, huh? Oh, I wasn't signing up for this. It was like, yes, no, that's exactly what you were signing up for. I was like, 100%. You were signed up for this. I know, I did. I love it actually. Card time. It is. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Do you know what card it's gonna be? Are you imagining the card is muted? I want to say earth tones and a heavy background. Okay, I know a card that's very much like that, Joe. Sometimes, if you put out what you want in the universe, you can make it happen. Yes, this one. Brown and dark orange. I mean, so like I'm tripping out. You said muted and dark background, right? And then you said orange. Like look at this. This card is pretty muted. And the background is quite literally dark. There's stars and there's a moon and there's fires and this is like lava mountains. But it all does look kind of like muted, right? Look at that muted background. That's very trippy, dude. Look at that, Joe Schmo. Oh, y'all see the French wizard casting Roman candle charges? Yeah, I did. I did actually at the riot police. Made me so happy. It was like, yeah, we are officially shadow running. I have ears. I have ears. You listen from the future. It's a curse. Let's see what it means. Card number 52. Elemental Embrace. It's a pretty cool card to me. I feel like we were embracing the fiery side of these elements. Elemental forces, synthesis. This card speaks of connecting with elemental forces. Molten lava flows into the ocean under a full moon, where two pairs of lovers, inhibiting the steam plumes, are revealed. They embody the passionate embrace of fire, creating earth and transmuting water into air. There is an atmosphere of raw creative energy emerging from the planet's womb. You know how it feels, though you may never have experienced it. Coming from a primal place in our cellular memory, this feeling holds the power of the elements and speaks directly to the relationships all humans have with these elements and with Mother Earth. Embedded within this card are two seven-sided stars. Seven is an integrating number. And here represents the synthesis of body, mind, and spirit with elemental forces. Seven indicates stages of transformation and is self-contained chronicle for quickening creativity. Creativity. How can you move more fully and appreciate your connection with elemental forces? You may decide to put your hands in the earth and grow a garden, water it, and see how sunlight and air combine to feed you and enhance growth and beauty in your life. You may sit by a fire with your feet in the ground, watching sparks fly into the air on a dark summer's eve. Perhaps you will learn to enhance your living space through a discipline such as feng shui. In any way you choose, find an understanding of the relationships among elemental forces so that you might live in harmony within your environment and merge your everyday life with the magic and mystery of the cosmos. Merge your everyday consciousness with the magic and mystery of the cosmos. Sam, you're so funny. I like this card. The French wizard casting Roman candle charges. Yeah, I feel we need more magic users, right? Like magic went to sleep for a while because technology was easier, and now we need more people that can do magic again. Please, please, random internet people, if you know how to magic, reach out to me and be like, this is how you magic. And then I'm gonna magic too. And then there's gonna be two people, at least two that can magic, right? And then I'll teach people as well. And before we know it, all of us are magicking. Yeah. So hit me up if you know how to magic. You know, Hosanna. Hosanna's like, I magic. I tried to magic as well, but my magic takes long. Yeah, yeah, there you exactly, exactly. Shan knows. How come you like we should be quiet. If you're gonna teach me how to magic, I have to like have at least like a month, right? Like at least a month. A month isn't gonna be nearly enough, but I'm still gonna take like at least a month of like practicing to get good at the magic before I teach Christian. because Christian is convinced he's gonna become Wizard King, and I won't stand for it. I will not stand for it. Enhance your living space through discipline. Yes, yes, right. And I feel Naomi was like echoing that as well. Her taking care of her chores so that she can come back to a clean space. I'll tell you about it, Mel. I magic, Grace hand magics as well. I actually also magic. I have like a little stick that I magicked, right? Used fire and beeswax, and I named it, and yeah. Magic is real. I think writing is magic. I think speaking is magic. And I feel we have the ability to magic well, right? That you can speak spells of hatred, of destruction over yourself, or you can not do that, right? Yeah, what's right? What's going on? Melody Magics, yes, that will be my course, for as little as $888. You can also learn how to magic. And then, I'll like have my hair in every single direction and be like, so, you decided to spend an absurd amount of money to learn how to magic. Little did you know that I just magicked you into spending a lot of money on me. Right? And that is the magic, right? You are the magic. Stupid. Thanks for the 800 bucks. No, the magic needs to be free. All of us need the magic, right? And I feel it already is. We're just not using it effectively. We're just, kind of being like, oh, I have to write things down so that I can manifest them. And that can't work. That's way too much trouble, right? I think of it like writing a story, and then you get to actually live out the lines. And like in filmmaking, that's something that you can do as well, where you write a script, and then based on the script, you know what shots you're supposed to get, right? So basically, knowing the story allows you to paint the picture that you want to have. And it's the same thing for your own life, right? That knowing what picture you want to see allows you get to choose. Christian would disagree. Christian probably already knows how to do magic. Shan. He's probably practicing magic right now, and he's not teaching me how to do it. Yes, well, freaking he thinks he's gonna become a don't tell him that. Look, wait a second. There's room for lots of wizards. They don't all have to be king. It's like an inner joke. There's this anime that was called Black Clover. It's kind of sus. It's a little bit sus, right? Like it makes you question your life and other people. But there's like this beautiful dynamic between two basically orphaned boys, and they grew up together. And one of them is like Giga Chad, has the ability to magic, and the other one has like no magic whatsoever. His magic is discipline and sheer undying will, like a belief that he will be Wizard King, and Wizard King is like the king of the wizards, and they both are convinced they'll be Wizard King. And every single time they see one another, they love each other to death. But they're like, I'm gonna be Wizard King. Oh, and now me and Christian are doing the same to one another. We're like, oh yeah, you think you're gonna be Wizard King? No, fine. I'm like, Wizard King. There will be a Wizard King battle between our dear Supreme Overlord Wizard King and Mel. I'm gonna have to decimate him. Absolutely destructions. And the coolest part is we're gonna be able to do it digitally. We don't even have to hurt one another. We'll have like a Wizard King battle arena. We'll we'll monetize it even. Make it a whole show. We'll have merch. Oh, I wish I was joking, but this is the world we live in right now, right? It was like, oh yeah, let's do this stuff. And it was like, yeah, let's make them really cute so we can sell merchandise on it. The freaking hi, hey Google, what is the total toy market? Oh my goodness, 170 billion US dollars, and is estimated to reach 267 billion US dollars by 2028. Oh my, oh my god, that's so much money, yo. And that's why. That's why people do it, because that much money. Like, I can't even fathom. Can you fathom how much money 267 billion US dollars are? And that's like billions of US dollars spent on toys. Toys. It's like, oh yeah. And I'm trying to think about the toys my kids are gonna want. Oh, Dad, can I please get myself a, mini fly-sized drone that is nice and little key holder chain? It's like, yeah, sure, son. You can get yourself a fly-sized, actual fly-looking drone, with microphones and spy cameras. And then, my kids spy on each other. Um, oh, please, please. Like, that's the thing I'm tripping out about right now, right? The things that I wanted as a child were like a cell phone. I wanted a cell phone so bad for so long, but my parents didn't allow us to have a cell phone before we turned 13. So like turning 13 was like a vibe in our family, because you get your first cell phone, and I was like satisfied, yo. I was like, yeah, I got a cell phone, and I got like a BlackBerry Curve for my first cell phone with a QWERTY, like a full QWERTY keyboard. And it has a service called BIS, BlackBerry Internet Service. That was like unlimited internet, but it was like capped at 360 kilobits, up and down or something like that. So it was like atrocious speeds, but I could Google as much as I wanted to, and I never needed another thing pretty much after that. Now, those things are going to be so commonplace in my children's lives. What are they gonna want? Maybe they won't want anything. Freaking, they're gonna have kids with expensive taste and being like, Dad, you stop doing that right now. You stop being bourgeois. Right? I do want to spoil my kids. I would love to. I would love to do that, even though it's probably gonna hurt them in the long run. Is that why they do it? It's like, yeah, we'll just spoil them anyway. Christina disagree. Most wizards will become king, will never become king, and very few will ever be heard by the king. Most of them live quietly for a reason, of course, as if they'll listen anyway. Because wizards are egomaniacs. But I get the feeling that if they focused on how to get high instead, a lot of them would give up the quest for ultimate power. I don't think it's about the quest for ultimate power. It is more ceaseless point that we're heading towards, and the understanding that the person next to you is also going there kind of like helps you with pacing, right? It's pacing. It's like how much of a pace are you keeping up towards moving towards the future? Because you can either like completely not have any pace at all, or you can like run yourself into exhaustion. And knowing that you have friends, that are going in the same direction helps you keep up with that pace a little bit at least. Natural witches just want to be left alone for the most part. The world is wonky. Yeah, they became witches for a reason. They'll get to watch this epic battle, right? How cool would that be, Shan? I love mixing magic and technology and the time period to see what kind of weirdness comes out, right? All of my magic is done digitally. See, you have magic. It's the kind of magic that has momentum. You are what is called an inertial hype magic. It's beautiful and quite effective. Oh, really? That's pretty sick. An inertial. That sounds really cool. Inertial. Hype magic. I like that so much. Yeah, get hype. Spoil your kids with experiences. I want to do that too. I want to do that too. I feel like that's the thing that I felt I missed in my life in a large part. Hating. It's cool seeing you, friends, sending you lovins. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mel, there is already the Grey School of Wizardry. It's actually amazing. I took online classes from it for years. It started at 99 bucks a year for unlimited classes. Inflation has driven it up to $300 a year. 200 for ages 11 to 17, but you can apply for a scholarship. That is pretty insane. That is pretty cool, actually. Like an actual school of wizardry. What do they teach you? If I'm not gonna be able to levitate things with my mind after paying $200 a year, I'm kicking, well, $300 a year. I'm kicking someone's door down. I'm using my magic for evil. I'm sorry. I just shouldn't say stuff like that, right? What do you mean I can't levitate things? I spent $300. Okay, skip it. And we're like, yeah, you can use your fist to do physical damage to people's faces. It's like, well, I'm gonna use magic. don't make, don't you make me use my magic. I'm joking, of course. I'm like, actually, I'm joking. I hope that's apparently clear. Like, unfortunately, if you're gonna fight someone, they're gonna fight back, and that's the part that's gonna be sucking. I want to know more about what you know is right. I'm also curious at this point. You were way better at it than most inertials that I have seen. Are you serious? Hey Google, define inertials. Inertia. That's initials. There's an R in it, right? Yeah, inertial. Hey Google, define inertial. A type of magic user. Inertial magic. A user can utilize magic spells that are based on and or take control of inertia. Oh, okay. Allowing them to perform magical feats such as making stationary objects move. I'm sorry, I lost my mind for a split second there because like my one gripe with that wizard that gray wizardry school is the fact that I wouldn't be able to move things with my mind. And then it goes like, yeah, if you can really do inertial magic, you can move things with your mind. Skip out. Skip out. Oh, so there's abjuration, alteration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, illusion, invocation, and necromancy. I'm gonna stay far away from the last one. I feel divination is one that I also like to kind of play with. Oh, Sika, thank you for teaching me things, Brother Joe. Inertial magic user. Yeah, I'm gonna punch the universe, dude. Straight through. And I just have to keep going. I have to keep gaining momentum until I die for me to punch a hole straight through the universe, right? When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. I'm gaining. I'm gaining. Yeah, I'm living into the ego at this point. Thank you, Brother Joe, for echoing some truths that I feel. I know I got some magic. Joy Vive is a natural too. Your magic is insecurity. How about that? Strong and soft, loving and hard. You're a mama. Why do you say that, Joe? I mean, I believe you because you're very wise. There we go. Yes, Amara wants a four-wheeler and a PlayStation and a Nintendo Switch and a Chromebook for her birthday. Oh, just that? Just just a PlayStation and a Chromebook and a four-wheeler and a Nintendo Switch and a just that? Yeah, right. Kids could want Barbie dolls 20 years ago. You want a new Barbie doll? Fine. They're like $50 or something or less than. Yeah, fine. Now they want $1,000 items. I mean, that's important. I love you. Thank you for even knowing about it. I'm a cat mama. Serious land. Did she save nothing for Christmas? She's like, nah. Wants all of the things all of the time. That stuff was on her Christmas list too. Spoil your kids with experiences. Mojo knows. Teach them. Don't give them toys when they can have so much to learn. Exactly. Amara is lovely, and I'm sure she deserves the world, the entire world. All of us do, right? But unfortunately, if we give our kids the entire world, they won't know what they want or what to go and get for themselves, right? And there is a balance in that as well. I do understand. I'll encourage my kids to do something every day, but I am gonna spoil the shit out of them, right? Like I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, right. I have one rule: you do what you love every day, right? And I'll support you. I'll support you in doing what you love every day, but you have to mean it. You have to mean it, dude. Right? That's very important. because the world knows. So the world knows. Lovely. Before COVID, I used to take her to an indoor water park for her birthday. That was her birthday present. Oh, she is lovely. Why she's not mad at you? You're right. No, you can't levitate. Yes, no, you can't levitate things. Mojo, that is spot on. It is what we do with Duckling. Zoo membership was the best money ever. We got we would go once a week in the warm months. Education, exercise, and the critters. What more can a toddler want exactly? Inertial is from the word inertia. You create momentum. Thank you again, Brother Joel. I love that. I really love that. And I'm gonna use it the next time I talked to Christian about how I'm being more Wizard King than him. I hope it's clear that when me and Christian compete in this way, it's not even for a split second derogatory or trying to break each other down. It very much is like, you better keep up, Will. You better keep up. I don't like being on this road alone. You stay to keep the pace. Inertia. You can't wait until we try one for the first time. Oh, it's really amazing. I love going to the zoo with my besties and her kids. Always love. Sorry, the random, the spirit, duckling wanted to be caught and hugged off the stairs, of course, 30 times in a row. At least you took care of your body enough to be strong enough to do that, right? Love, love. Sorry to hear. Love, 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 love. It's true. Three. Do a duck. We went to Splash Lagoon in the Erie in PA. We did it for like 3 years in a row. Always a great time. Man, sounds amazing. Your friends have cool places in America, right? Like I hope you know that. ADHD, Melty, Google won't know that stuff. Color me wrong. I mean, when I was more specific, it kind of like got along a little bit. Joy Vive never means also spicy, just the way I like it. My armor is just very low at the moment. When so, wishing you and the fruit fam some thicker armor. Love is true. You are the beast and the gentle warrior that will overcome the weakness that we face. You got the jam. Just another springtime struggle. uh, little by little, dude. And I won't be able to do it alone. You friends give me momentum, right? Every single time I see one of your friends' names, right? A word you say, just your presence, you knowing you're here in this moment, that gives momentum. And we're trying to go towards a world where love is true, right? Where we don't let people die of hunger. We don't let people sleep on the streets if they don't need to. We don't let people suffer, right? Because we know we are one. We're the same consciousness experiencing life right now. And we want to make that life a beautiful one. Yo! Skapow! Mm-hmm. They have 16 departments: wizardry, natural philosophy, magical practice, psychic arts, healing, ward cunning, herbalism, divination, performance magic, alchemy, life wisdom, beast mastery, cosmology, ma- mathemagus? That word is melting my brain. Mathemagics. Mathemagics? There we go. Mathemagics. Lore, and yes, defense against the dark arts. Oh, and ceremonial magic. That's pretty sick. That's a pretty like wide repertoire. My mind would want to do all of them and not do any of them well. But what's the school for the dark arts? I want to learn that blood magic, Joyviv. No. Like, blood magic is actually a thing, Joyviv, that you can go and learn. But you do realize you're going to have to murder things and extract their blood from them in order to blood magic, right? And the animals you have closest to you right now are your cats. So if you and I believe blood magic also has some sort of significance with cats. So if you really want to do blood magic, you'll have to be looking at your cats to find your source, right? Think about it later. It's always later. JV, I don't think there are lots of other places for that. Blood magic requires sacrifice. There we go. Yeah, and your kitties are first on the line. Stop saying magic. I can't stop thinking about South Park ranting magic show. A heavy price, exactly. And you're gonna have to be with it, in a mental and a heart way as well. I won't be bad and stay away from the dark arts. We have zoos, we have safaris melting. This is true. I'm more thinking about like the amusement parks and the spaces where your friends can go for like social events and stuff like that. Jovan, I sat upright in my chair when I saw the words blood magic. Psst. Stay the fuck away from that level of commitment. Yeah, I'm kind of like Team Joe Schmo with that sentiment. Joy Vive asking the real question. How far is the nearest safari from LT? Hey Google. How far is the nearest safari from me? Holy shit. That's kind of concerning. That's incorrect though. Like they took me to a storefront that is called Agri Safari. I feel. Hey Google. How far is the Kruger Park from me? Mm, yeah, it's passing out right now. The Kruger Park is about 400 kilometers. So, like about 4 hours drive, give or take. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I had to delete my thoughts, Joe. I don't even like to say it exactly. Yeah. Oh, take duckling on a safari and get her tiny safari outfit and that. Javiv, my wife and I have always had African safari on our list. No chance. We will be able to afford it before she's a teenager, though. Don't say shit like that, brother Duck Dad. Mm-mm-mm. Right? Let go of that limited belief. Oh, maybe even you'll be so rich by the time she's a teenager that she is already sick of Africa. Like, oh, Dad, I'm a teenager now. Like we've been to Africa like 50 times. Stop. Yeah, that's what I see. You're a spoiled kid. Oh, wear a little hat. So forbidden. The stream cut out. I'm not surprised. I bet you have a sign. A lot of disclosures to get into that place, Joe, probably. Not really, actually. Usually just, kind of like admit that you know where you're going and you're not going to get out of your car kind of vibe. You do? There's some terrible Lion King plays right there. Yeah, there's lions. Oh, yeah. So South Africa is home to the world's biggest free flight bird sanctuary. I want to go there one day. One day we will. Right? It's just a matter of time at this point. We're manifesting. Some of the titles of the department are a little whimsical, but they are for real. Defense magic, the dark arts teaches things like dealing with psychic vampires, negative energy slash toxic people situations. Like all of these things are based in levels of reality as well. Like we've been working on this stuff. Like the Gnostics, right? These dudes have been working on this technology, the science for a very long time. Joe, you go. We gonna go someday. Maybe we'll make like a whole, little happy little family trip. We'll have like a little bus and everything. It is kind of Disneyland-ish, but the animals are plenty and healthy and well cared for, so I like it. It sounds good to me. It's in the car. She's got to deal a good hand, little by little, right? One more card. Okay. It's weird that you asked as well because a part of me felt like I wanted to pull another card because I want to end the stream. So it was like, maybe I should pull another card. And then you asked. I just ran away from the vampire people when I can, Lois. I've always had low energy, and I've left situations with the quickness if I feel like I'm being sucked dry. Yeah, people trying to get something from you, right? Like a certain response, a certain energy. It is something that you notice quickly. You have gone with your lady friend and kids, Joe. Have you gone? I don't know. See if he answers. It sounds like a fun place. I'm guessing it's water park. The zoo. Did have a pass, so I'm guessing had went a few times at least. Hello, kitty. Hello, some meow. This one? Mmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Is meow, meow? Want you come meow, meow? Want you come meow? Want you kitty cat? Oh, what are you saying, meow? What are you saying? Want you meow? Want you kitty? Want you kitty, What's happening here? What's happening here, yo? Okay, this is the card we pulled. This is also one of my favorites. Night into day, right? Letting go of the night so that we can have day. Letting go of the day so that we can once again have night. What's in the card? I don't know. Blue circles. I mean, that's a blue circle if I've ever seen one. Sicketh. I admire your level of self protection joy. Gives me a level of dual perspective. I'm totally the opposite. Oftentimes sacrificing my own well being in an attempt to help. I do the same, right? I kind of like take pride in not running away. Like, I feel running away sometimes as like too easy. I said green earlier. You did, Dry Historian. We actually pulled a pretty green card. I just saw a Muscati. You stay away from me, you small little blood sucking demon. Don't you get close to me, you. The paranoia. Graceful transitions. Graceful transitions. Night into day. One more time. You want to see the card? This one. While I do what I do sometimes and find it rewarding, your perspective is important to me. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing just that love that you have, your friend. I could not have said it better. Dry. We were talking about you. I streamed on YouTube Thursday and I was trying to melt powers to trying to melt powers to manifest you with Joy V. I mean, maybe it was delayed. Here she is now. He's gonna be live in like 2 hours from now, apparently as well. So maybe it can happen. Share the fractal. So much love. Magic! Oh goodness! First word. Like we oh my like we transition into the stream talking about all of the things that we did, and one of the core topics was magic. Magic with a big M. With a big M. Magic and grace. Fill moments just as dawn is breaking or the sun is setting. This is a time of transition, dark into light. As the world turns and displays a new day, owl guardians. Oh, excuse me. Owl guards the night sky as hawks patrol the day. Golden spirals form a dynamic five flowers, spinning the blossom of graceful transitions. Transition is afoot in your life. Each one of us is consciously shifting, expanding, and transforming. Change may seem so gradual that you hardly notice, or you may be poised in a moment between night and day, about to embark on major life transitions. Whether these transformations were brought about by circumstances or by your own intentions, you are required to expand your vision of what is possible and embrace your desire for joy, growth, and freedom. Yo! Skapow! The age in which we live spins so fast that sometimes it feels as if we're just beginning to understand how one event has touched us when another arrives without warning. Realize that even radical change does not have to be traumatic. Oh, I don't even know if Naomi is here anymore, but Naomi, even radical change does not have to be traumatic. You may, how may you more gracefully accept and move through the events in your life? How may the way you view change help your evolution to flower more gracefully? You were talking about relationships evolving as well, Dry Historian. You were invited to view each transition you experience as another of life's adventures. Allow the owl and hawk on this card to symbolize a knowing that you are guided and protected in your personal evolution. As you consciously move out of the darkness into the morning light, let this card be a signpost of graceful transition. Skapow! You must go! Skapow! Welcome to Presence. And you asked, Joe Schmo. You were the one echoing, dude. Like you knew the magic and grace was gonna come. Magic with a big MC. Look at look at the big M. What's your magic? Doug Dad, what's your account on YouTube? Someone told me. Please do post it again. Post it in the notifications tab, right? Like that's gonna be nice and easy to find. Is it better? Doug Magic Inquisition, Doug Dad. Hey Joe, how come you know so much? Did you spend a lot of time reading while waiting for the fish to bite? He just knows. You know, he knows. I'll send you a Discord message. Try, please do. I just got told things and repeat the stuff to the ones who hear it. Naturally insane, I suppose. Who knows? Right, literally. Who even knows? This card is shaking me so much right now. Guardian, pay attention. Darkness into light. You friends are the light. Sometimes we experience some darkness. You're so good at it. Wow, this card. All of you friends are. I posted it in the stream last Discord yesterday. Do it again, oh. Do it again. Do it every time you go live so we can know. Definitely think when I asked for the last card, it was about ending phrase, but not friends. But the ending phase, but not friends. However you take it from love. Right? It is a message of love. We are going through our transformations, our expanding natures, our growth, our joy, our hope actively, right? Just know that things are going to be better. We just have to keep tending towards love in ourselves, little by little, building that little pyramid. I can barely read and can sit down long enough for a study to keep my attention. The stuff just comes. Definitely think when I ask for the last card. Okay. Melt, Gray School offers an introduction class for each department for 2 cents. Unfortunately, Louisiana, uh, it's just too expensive for me to even consider it right now. Like, that is basically 10% of how much I earn in a year, right? Maybe a little bit less than 10%. So, unfortunately, I cannot see myself considering it at this point in my life. Maybe later, but not right now, right? Like I feel I need to invest my money and time differently at this time of my life, and then later I'll have a little bit more freedoms. For each department, wait a second. Offers an introductory class for each department for 10 cents. The divination department preview classes is called the Path of the Seers. I feel like I'm already on that path. I guess that's what I'm also saying, Lovazana. It's like I am unwilling, in large part to pay for something that I'm already doing, right? No, like, that sounds pompous just in saying it, but I also don't have the luxury, I guess, of disposable income. And the thing with me is I become obsessed. It's like there's a reason they offer those classes for 10 cents because they know there are people like me as well that are gonna get obsessed and then is going to commit to actually getting the full thing. And I either become obsessed with something or I do not give it any time in my life. And I do not have enough time or money to become obsessed with more things right now. That's how I feel. That's my current predicament. This card was yours. Your words hold so much good energy, Joe. Always good energy. Thank you for all of that love that you're echoing right back to him, right? And enabling him, giving him more momentum to do the same. Joe, if your intuition is strong, be watchful of situations where your discernment is being tested. Good advice. I want the mini shoulder Sam to talk to me through the things. Yeah, Sam is so clever. Yo, Sam is like on it. 10 cents though, Mel. Give it a try. Obsession. Again. Understood. I'll be quiet. No, you don't have to be quiet, Lovizana. It's not me trying to silence you at all. Very much not so, right? Like, that's not my goal. It's just my goals. My goals. I'm an obsessive person, Lovizana. I cannot do anything a little bit, unfortunately. Everything in moderation, even moderation, right? So yeah, moderation. Really, it was the community that I enjoyed so much. That makes me happy to hear. The fact that the people actually doing it are the ones that it is making it worth it, right? I feel that's what's most important. That kind of like changes my perspective on it as well. Interestingly enough, Lavazana. You have one of those already, Jovan. The gut brain is an invaluable resource when you know how to tap into it. Beautifully said. For bringing awareness to the resources. Thank you for echoing that as well. It's also how I feel. If you will have disposable income, Melty, even if you don't right now. I agree with this completely, Joy V. I do, 100%. It's not a statement of like this is my reality. I'm not someone who has disposable income. It's just like right now, at this point, it's not something I can do. But that is subject to change, as everything is, fortunately. Thank you, Joy V, for echoing that as well. I'm always trying to refine my reaction to the information, and it takes its toll. It can, very much so. Why do I live in a place with the air hurts my face? So cold, firing up. Mixie? What? All you friends are so different. It's such a great place for wisdom here. So much perspective, right? So much different fractals. Like Loizana, went through this fractal of actually, mentioning to us that she was taking these classes for a long time and it benefited her and she sees parts of herself in me, knowing that I would probably benefit from it as well, encouraging me, knowing that knowing as myself I would probably benefit from it, but knowing that it's going to be a financial investment of $300 a year, which is like you know what, 20%, 10% of a proper camera, right? So like it's my mind is like running the percentages of what needs to happen first before I can start considering stuff like that. So it's not me trying to discourage you from sharing your wisdom at all, Louisiana. I hope you know that. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I sincerely love all of you so super, so extremely super duper for real, for real, dearly. Melton, all of you absolutely wonderfully amazing and lovely of loveliest. Love you. Thank you, Shan, for sending so much love. Mix and match with the tasty treats. Right, Joy? I was just thinking, make the experience for a while. You know the best how to recharge. Hedonism Sam says grilled cheese. That's wonderful for the nerves. Grilled cheese recharge. Grilled cheese, quite right. Love you, friends, so much. I'm like on my second day of fasting, so you friends have been making me hungry during this stream. I love you still. Thank you for joining me, for sharing this moment, for letting go, right? For being willing to let go, even of this, right? And embrace your moments, your day going forward. You friends, gosh, I'm so happy to have been here with you today. Super duper seriously. You are a blessing, as you are to all of us. Dear Jovan, thank you for blessing us with your presence. I'll see you friends again soon. Goodbye. It's your juice. See you in less than 24 hours. Wait a second. Louisiana says, Joe, this is nuts. Grilled cheese? I am literally going to a restaurant called Meltwich for a grilled cheese for lunch today. Yes. Yes, more synchronicities, more nodes connecting, more realizations. I just erased grilled cheese comment for you, Mel. Thank you, dude. Uh, all of that desire to grilled cheese my face hole is now gone. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to leave you friends with that. Love you. I'll see you again soon.